The 15th Doctor. Well, what can I say? He had a short life, ups and downs, never felt like it really got to its feet. But there was good times, there was bad times, and in this show that we called Doctor Who, he was a bit of a beacon of light within it, right? In this crazy topsy-turvy era. Ha! Well, what more is there that I could say? Well, I'm going to say some more. I'm going to talk about Doctor Who as a whole. The show that has had a life of 60 odd years. People for a long time said, no, this show died back in 2017. And I said, no, it didn't. It will live on and it will be great. Unfortunately, Doctor Who only had a few more years left. And today we are gathered to mourn the show, the once great and powerful show that was Doctor Who. And what a time we had. It filled it out towards the end. And yeah, I guess we're here. What the fuck did I just watch? What did I watch, Connor?
I hate life.
I'm like beyond.
I am beyond words.
Beyond, just lost. So lost.
Lost.
At the top of the show.
Lost.
We know some listeners out there that don't love hearing a lot of smack talk about Doctor Who. This ain't going to be a podcast episode for you to listen to if you don't like that, because we will always be honest and say how we feel honestly about the episode. And it's not going to be all 100% negative. There is, for me, a handful of positive things in there, scattered throughout.
Sure.
But generally speaking, I think the things that are so wrong with this episode have been so precedent throughout the whole era. And I think this is the culmination of a lot of that stuff. So we are going to be pretty real about it. And not great.
Yeah, here we are. I can't believe it, really.
No, neither can I.
I really didn't think that was going to happen.
No, neither.
Particularly watching the episode as well.
Yeah, and obviously I feel like we're going to be pretty blinded by the ending. We'll have a lot of chat about the ending, which maybe will be a bit unfair to the rest of the episode.
I don't give a fuck about the episode anyway.
Also, a note, we usually do get the chance to watch this twice before reviewing it, but because it had a later broadcast or later release on Disney Plus, we've only watched it the one time.
I'm never going to watch it again.
Never?
Nope.
You're done?
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
I'm done.
All right. Well, on that note, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor. On TikTok,
subscribe.
At 50Doctor. On TikTok, you can watch my reaction to that
Oh,
final
really?
scene. Yeah. My live reaction.
I should have recorded myself.
So check that out over on TikTok. It's a bit of fun. And subscribe here if you still care about Doctor Who. Let's get into the review.
50% podcast.
So as always,
Yeah, open up the champagne.
at a wake, we need something to help us get through it. A little bit of swings and roundabouts.
I've been there.
Down from down the Margaret River region
Thanks, boss.
of Western Australia,
Cheers.
just to get us through this really hard time.
You know what? I normally hate white, but you know what? It's a eulogy, so you have to.
Yeah, we're here to mourn. You know who the real joke is though? What the joke's on?
Russell T Davies.
No, the joke's on us.
Why?
I've got people messaging me saying, just saw that, ha 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 ha.
Right.
Can't believe you still watch this show. Can't believe you still have to talk about this show.
Yeah.
Jump ship, mate.
Yeah.
Coming out my ears, mate. I'm a laughing stock of my friends.
It is embarrassing. Like whenever I get my hair cut, my barber always asks me about like the podcast and stuff and Docu Who, and I just feel embarrassed to talk about it. I'm not trying to be a dick.
Cheers.
Not trying to be a dick. Cheers. But it just feels embarrassing. I'm fully on the side of like you should always be yourself and you should love what you love. Mm-hmm. But it's embarrassing.
It's getting grim.
Okay.
It's getting grim. Like people.
Can I admit it?
There's a lot of the people that I've spoken to of my friends who are just like general. They're not even fans. They don't even watch it anymore. They came back for the 60th, checked out a bit of season 1, and were like, oh, nah, still a bit shit. Mm-hmm. And I was always defending. I said, no, like Doctor Who's always been a bit up and down. Like I think it's still pretty promising. We'll see where we go. And then I just have to couple all this after the finale and say, yeah, show's in a bad place.
Are you done?
Done. Like never coming back to Doctor Who.
Obviously, we'll come back. But the closest to done with also still coming back, because we'll still always come back.
We will always come back.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at.
Yeah, but I literally, like, my genuine reaction when Billie Piper came on screen was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, I think in the video, I literally say, like, I can't do this anymore.
No.
Because I'm so sick of going backwards.
Yeah.
But I'm also so sick of, like, trying to justify these decisions. Like, just I want like an exciting future, and we sort of got that when Jodie first came onto the scene. Obviously, it was a bit muddled because we had
the future is here,
but we had the bi-generation and a lot of old cast members coming back throughout his era, so it didn't feel like the fresh jumping on point.
Yeah.
So I thought at least maybe with the season 3, it can be a fresh jumping on point again. We can leave all the God stuff that was intertwined with the messy 60th stuff that spilled out into this era, and we can start afresh with season 3.
But
I was so wrong.
Just end it with a fucking open regeneration.
Yeah.
That's honestly how they should have done it.
Well, yeah. So obviously there was reports of reshoots for this episode. And I was, as always, trying to be the advocate and say, reshoots, they always happen. Doesn't mean it's a big story ending thing.
Big boo-boo.
But then like the moment you see, I saw some people saying they thought the regen looked great. I thought it looked rough as hell. Like,
bro, the people are fucking stupid. That's the problem. It looked rough.
The VFX of the regen was just like, Christmas 2011 or 12. What's the one with
Christmas Carol?
No, the one after that.
The Doctor Who Wardrobe.
Yes, obviously that was, I think, probably the closest to broadcast in New Who an episode has been filmed by the sounds of it. I think it was filmed like 4 months out, and you can tell some of the VFX there. It's like it's really, really choppy. And the moment we got to that regen scene, I was like, yeah, this shit was filmed like a couple months ago. It was. They had no time to do it. You can even tell. The biggest giveaway for me was like the regen of the face.
Yeah.
Yes, they have the glowy stuff going on, but they don't morph it. They flash to White and then to Jodie and then to Billie.
Yeah.
So it's like,
so there's no like morph. It's just a
it's like a quick shit. We don't have time. Crossfade.
Just throwing Billie Piper. People will love that, won't they?
It's so, as well, because it's just so funny that it's Billie because we just had David.
Yeah.
At least like if it was Karen Gillan or something, it'd be like, we're going back and it sucks we're going back. But at least we're not just jumping back to season 2. Whereas now it's like we've had, are they going to, for fuck's sake.
What?
She's going to meet up with the 14th Doctor and have an episode with the 14th.
So wait, are we, is it the impression that we're going to get some just specials of Billie while they find the new Doctor?
Not a clue.
Or is it a full series with her?
Not a clue.
Or is she just the Doctor?
One thing I will say, one of my first thoughts when Billie came onto the screen was that I remember in an interview a while ago, someone said to her, would you ever return to Doctor Who? And she said like, I'm not really that huge. Like, I don't want to up my life and move to Cardiff. And I don't really want to work for long periods of time on shows. I just like doing little bits here and there. So I don't see her coming back for definitely not more than a season. If she did one season, I'd be surprised. I feel like maybe this does hint that it's specials or a mini series or something.
We're just going backwards. We're just doing exactly what we did with David Tennant.
60th 2.0.
A new era again.
Yeah.
Which I honestly, like, I just feel so betrayed and like burnt out and I can't deal with it anymore. And like, I was enjoying the episode. I really was. And it's not the best thing I've ever seen in my life, but I'm actually enjoying this.
Yeah.
And I was getting excited because I'm like, I'm really going to be probably ready for series 3 and I want to continue with this and see how it goes. And then it just changed. And they were slowly heading towards it. Like when Ruby kept mentioning more about Poppy and stuff, I was like, what's going on here? And then I guess the way to bring back Poppy is by regeneration energy, I guess. And then the second the Doctor was like, Jodie was like, I was starting to really like this face. I was like, we're done. We're fucked. We're done.
Well, let's walk through the episode a little bit because
I don't fucking care. You can talk.
Okay. Because like you said, the first like half hour, which is essentially the plot of the episode, is the first half hour, and then it goes
and then
into
it
other
just
stuff.
does other stuff. Yeah.
But the first half hour, I was like, this is fun. Like there was a couple of eye roll moments in there for sure. But like I was sort of on board for Anita rocks up. I cheered.
Very happy.
That was so fun.
That was awesome. That's what Moffat was talking about when he came back to look at the script.
Yeah, that was part of me that really...
Very happy about that. Yeah, that was really cool.
That was part of me that was like, oh, maybe this will end with like Jodie stays on for season 3 and then Anita's like, I don't want to do my job anymore.
Wrong.
I was wrong. What a fool I was.
Yeah, how dare I think that.
So Anita saves the Doctor from falling to death by going into the Time Hotel. Like we said, fun stuff there. They come in and they rescue the whole gang. And in doing so, they're sort of reminding them that this is a false reality. And this all culminates on the unit set. Once again, looks beautiful, this like periodic unit set. I love, she was only there for a couple of lines, but I loved the fact that Rose then like sort of teleported, manifested in, because I think a lot of people were saying, where's Rose in part 1? And I did sort of think maybe there is a whole element of...
Well, it made sense.
Conrad's imagine her.
World, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was a cute little touch there.
Does that explain why she's wearing the same costume as Empire of Death and Legend of Ruby Sunday?
It's a work fit.
Yeah, it is a work fit.
I only have a couple of work fits I cycle between.
Okay.
Not mad at that.
It just happened to be that one,
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Right.
But yeah, so Rose comes back for a couple lines. We hit the bingo card on a lot of things here, like Carla and Cherry for a couple lines, that kind of thing.
Back again for just a few lines.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden everyone's like, all right, we've got to put a plan together to bring down the Rani. Okay, she's going to bring back Omega. And they bring out the Indigo machine is back in like a new vest form, whatever.
Was that the returning piece of technology?
Well, I guess we've had two between the what's it called? The machine
wave,
from
the wave,
from that feels like a lifetime ago. Interstellar Song Contest.
Yeah.
So they get this plan together.
Penultimate episode. The
Doctor gets the speeder from the Rani.
Yeah, it looks great.
And you know what? But once again, I was like, this is cringe, but kind of fun.
Did you like Mel driving in on her scooter?
How did she get up there?
Exactly. She's just driving through fucking corridors.
She went
get out of my way.
Up to the lift, went up the lift in it.
Get out of my way.
Yeah, that was a bit interesting.
Just before you move on quickly though, I was really expecting more of a scene with Ruby and Belinda.
Yes,
where they met. Because it kind of just cut to a scene where they're all just standing around together looking at Poppy and stuff, and it's like, we went here, we did this. It's like, okay, like people kept saying on like Twitter and stuff, like, I can't wait for them to like meet and stuff, and it's like they kind of interacted, but then Belinda kind of just like was just being like an ass to Ruby all the time, just like, don't say that about my daughter.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Yeah. There was a scene early on, which even though I was really enjoying the episode at this point, there was a scene from Shooty where I felt like this is what I mean by his doctor. I don't understand. Like there was, I think Anita said to the doctor, but that baby's not real, right?
How
and
dare
he
you?
turned around and he's like, why would you say that? And I'm like, she doesn't know the context. Like, why are you so angry?
Yeah, I agree. That is just so weird. It's like,
and
how dare you? This is as real as you and I talking right now.
It's happened all the time throughout his era, and that's why I'm like, it's just
now we'll never. Do you know that?
Random bursts.
We'll never know.
I know. We'll never understand the random burst he did in Interstellar Song Contest.
Understand anything about his doctor, and we never will.
No.
Fantastic. Great.
No. Great.
Thank you.
Woohoo. So then, okay, talking about where the flaws really start to creep into this episode.
Yeah.
Belinda. Ugh. She's had nothing to do since episode 3, right?
I agree.
And so you think, Belinda's last episode might go out with a bang, give us some big storyline stuff to do. Ruby had more stuff to do than Belinda this episode. So Belinda's plot, I like that she's like, okay, no, this is my child though. This is a real child. I want to make sure she lives. Like that. Good stuff. They take her down to the zero room. I think that's a classic Who thing in the TARDIS. I think I might have seen that episode. Castrovalva, maybe. Is there a thing called the Zero Room? Someone will tell me down below.
The vault that Mel built?
Susan built.
Susan built, okay.
Susan Trier built it.
Oh, Susan Trier built it, sorry.
Yeah. So Belinda takes the baby down there, and her plot for the episode,
just stay in the room.
Stay in the room.
Yeah.
And they're like, everything else might die and you'll be stuck in there forever.
But it's my child.
But you'll have no food or drink. You'll just die.
Age. You'll just be in there.
Yeah.
But I'll be there with Poppy, so it's okay.
Yeah, okay. So the doctor zooms up to the big cathedral, and Ruby then teleports in.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best stuff for this episode was between Ruby and Conrad. I thought those scenes, I really liked those, where she was like, she wished for him to be happy as well. I feel like some people online will get very mad because like they gave a happy ending to a bad guy. And it's like, yeah, but she wished that he has a different life, so it's not that guy anymore. You know, I don't know.
I guess I saw Mr. Tyrus make a good post about how, and I can see both sides of this argument. One is, why did Ruby give a happy ending to Conrad where he did create a world where, well, for example, Rose didn't exist because she was trans. People who had disabilities, you know, all that kind of thing. So I do get why people are like, why is Ruby being so kind of someone who doesn't deserve it? But then I guess on the other side, I think whatever Ruby Sunday's character was, when sometimes little cracks of light would come through of characterization.
Yeah.
She was a good person.
Yeah.
And I think she would rather, like the whole line about him not ever mentioning his father and him having a childhood where nothing good came out of it, made him become this kind of person. And he did deserve a second chance at being better. Yeah. So I can see both sides of the argument, but yeah.
I agree. I understand why it's maybe a little bit messy, but yeah. The scenes between them where he was holding the gun to him, that stuff works for me because it felt very human in contrast to, excuse me, the Omega redesign that we all feared. Narani opens the tomb.
What was that?
And then Big Omega.
Big Skull Man.
Crawls out. Big, Skull Omega.
Voiced by Nick Briggs, wasn't it?
Maybe, I don't know.
Didn't you say it last week, Omega voiced by Nick Briggs?
No.
Okay, I'm tripping.
You are tripping.
Okay.
Yeah, he comes out, eats the Rani.
Yeah, what the hell? And that's it.
Because I feel like that was meant to be like an, oh shit, this guy means trouble.
Yeah.
But then also at the same time, the Doctor then just shoots him with the Vindicator. So I
guess the Vindicator has gotten so much energy from triple supernovas.
The power of 5,000 supernovas.
Yeah. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
No.
Great. And then Mrs. Flood just fucks off and goes somewhere else. We don't know.
So she'll be back?
No. Can we not do that, please?
Yeah. It's just
pointless.
So easy to defeat Omega.
Yeah.
So easy.
Just shot, boom.
Like, it didn't even get started. It didn't even get started. Why are we bringing...
What's the point?
We brought back the Rani just to sort of kill her, and then she's got a little Mrs. Flood fucking off doing her thing. And then we brought back Omega just to be not at all the same character, climbs out of tomb, fucks off back into tomb.
Yeah.
That's all we... Like, these characters are brought back just for name drops.
Just name drops.
Not for good storytelling. And there's such a brilliant opportunity to make a great Rani story and a great Omega story, and possibly even a great Omega and Rani story together. Didn't do it.
No, at least like, I guess to give one little bit of hope into this story, I thought that when she was monologuing in front of Unit and stuff, I thought that was quite good. That line about how the Doctor might act like he's human, but he knows that he is a power way beyond them. I like that.
Yeah, and there was some interesting stuff. The explanation of bi-generation being... so the Time Lords are now all sterile after this genetic bomb thing that blew up and killed them all. The survivors have all been made sterile. So the Doctor can't have kids, and bi-generation is a force to come out of
almost
just,
like it was evolving.
Yeah, like it just to make Time Lords live on. It bi-generated. But also, doesn't that contradict the explanation in the Giggle where the Doctor said it's like an old Time Lord like myth?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which I guess it still could be both. Like if there was a sterile Time Lord just previously, perhaps they bi-generated and perhaps there was a myth, and now ever since the Time Lords have all gone, they're all bi-generating a bit more.
Well, again, what we keep saying is that there's no sense to it all. There I guess was plans in place, but never went to fruition.
And it does, and so there's that contradiction that reeks of like this was not planned. This whole series, what's going on? But then there's also another line. Just jumping ahead, we'll come back in a second. But whilst we're on bi-generation, when the Doctor mentions bi-generation to the 13th Doctor, and she says, "What's that?" and he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it." But it's not like the 14th
13th
Doctor. It's not like the 14th Doctor learned what bigeneration was
Right.
at UNIT. He already knew. He said it was an old Time Lord thing. So why does the 13th Doctor not know?
Maybe he learned after the regeneration and he was finding it out during his wacky adventures before the 60th.
It's a small thing, but it's so smelly.
Yeah.
It's so smelly.
Yeah, nah, it's not clever, it's not smart. It doesn't make sense.
No, not at
Generally, none of it makes sense. And it's like, what was the big deal here? Like, so when the Rani died, I was like, is that it? Like, is this really... I was actually kind of happy when it happened, just because I don't care. And I'm like, okay, now, because I just wanted answers. I want to know what's happening. I guess we kind of did get some because we found out about the Jodie leaving, but we don't know about Series 3. We don't know about Disney. We don't know any of that stuff.
I didn't expect us to find that out.
I guess
today.
I actually thought we probably would. I thought we would know because it's just been so... It's been weighing down on the community so much, I think.
And the era, I feel like... Once again, I do think this is slightly out of Russell's control. The whole not being able to commission season 3 without Disney, like that's something that isn't up to him. But it has felt like this era, we're constantly uncertain about what's going on, and we're constantly feeling a little bit shit about it because we don't know what's to come. Which is just a little part of this era, this weird little era. It
felt like the episode finished 30 minutes in.
It did.
And then went on to do some convoluted thing about Poppy existing and then not existing and then existing again and then regeneration.
Yeah.
And part of my mind goes to when this is just how I interpret it. You might have seen it differently. My thought was once Poppy like disappeared, and then I thought that's probably when the reshoots came in and were like, we're going to bring her back, and in doing so, I need to use regeneration energy, which will then result in me dying.
Yeah, I've got a feeling the whole Poppy, from the whole Poppy disappearing scene onwards, so that scene in the TARDIS, is where I think it all changed, because I feel like perhaps in the other version, Belinda and Poppy might have just gone off to live their life.
Yeah.
But because instead we have all this stuff that doesn't particularly make an awful lot of sense.
Yeah.
So we go back into the TARDIS. Ruby can remember everything that's going on.
Which I guess is never really... Is it ever explained why Ruby knew everything about the Wish World in this?
No, it's not really.
She's just very special.
I thought they were going to allude to... I thought she was going to become Poppy. And this was like my weird... Like, I was like, this show's fucked. Because I was like, is she Poppy, the Doctor's daughter... and then she's going to be Susan's mum, and then they're going to bring Susan in? My mind was like...
Right.
So...
honestly, look at Doctor Who now, that could have happened.
Well, that's the thing. You
just
really
so
don't...
wacky and ridiculous and doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. And so we get this scene of the... I like the sort of visual of Ruby catching on to the fact that Poppy's disappearing as they're folding up the jacket, and it's disappearing, getting smaller and smaller and smaller until it's gone.
And then the cot goes.
Yeah.
It was good. It was emotional.
Yeah. But the next 20 minutes from here, I just felt myself going, come on, just get to it. Like, why are we doing all this stalling and explaining? We're just explaining things. And it's like, we get it. We fucking get it. And that's why it stinks of like a shitty little reshoot, because it just feels so not part of like the story. It's like a weird thing to flesh out the runtime or something. It's like, but I guess Russell has this problem a lot with this stuff. Like, remember I said the giggle, the last 15 minutes just feels so messy. It's just people talking and going backwards and forwards into different rooms. And it doesn't particularly mean anything versus having just one well-written scene with good dialogue in one room takes 5 minutes versus 10 or 15. Like that's my problem with the end of the giggle. But then it's also there in one of his shows, a great show. I'm really scrambled today.
Years and years.
Yeah. The finale for that has a similar problem where it sort of ends a little earlier than it should in terms of threat and things. And then you get like just random scenes that don't just feel really off for the show.
Yeah.
Like there is things like that. And obviously in some of Russell's earlier finales, like End of Time, it's like a 15-minute epilogue, but that feels warranted because it's the end of a 4-season era. Definitely a bit wanky, but it's the end of a big era.
I mean, and we're just back again with, you know, and don't hate me, internet, please. But I just thought Jodie's cameo was just so strange.
Yes, I totally agree.
It's just so weird. It doesn't make sense.
So before we get to Jodie's cameo,
So
the Doctor goes into the TARDIS. And he's like, I'm gonna regen. Oh no, is Jodie's cameo before Belinda? Before he goes back to Belinda?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Let's talk.
I believe yes.
Let's talk Jodie's cameo then. So yeah, Doctor walks into the TARDIS. Jodie rocks up. I was like, shit.
Well, that's when he accepts that he has to regenerate.
Yes, of course. He's gonna sacrifice his life to spawn back in.
I guess makes
Poppy.
sense. Like,
Yeah, look, I'd rather that over like the Doctor just getting shot again.
regeneration energy can bring back a baby, I guess. Who knows? Who knows?
But so yeah, Jodie walks in. Nice to see Jodie. Genuinely, I was like, it's nice. Like I part of me was like, I miss that era a little bit. You know, I do miss that. But then you're sat there like she's there because time has all thrown out of whack for what he's about to do.
It's time crash, but it's canon. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. And it doesn't. I don't know why Russell wrote that scene.
I don't. It's bullshit reshoots. Like, oh, the fans are going to be really pissed off at me. Let me throw in something to distract them. You know.
I don't get it. Like, she didn't add anything to the plot. I know she said face it with a smile or something.
Yeah.
But like it didn't add anything to the plot, and was just really random.
It was random and dumb and doesn't make sense. Like,
Yeah.
and it pisses me off. It makes the Fugitive Doctor cameo look like gorgeous storytelling because this is just so dumb. And I hate this idea where it's like, okay, we're rewriting history now because it's like I should tell Yaz that I love her, and then like the Doctor's like, you learnt that from me. It's like, did we? Did we?
I get it.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't believe it for 1 second. Sorry.
That's the other thing that sort of fucks me off is like we've not had a character arc for this Doctor, and the closest thing we've had, or the thing that they're pushing for us is like, no, this Doctor says he loves you now. Like this Doctor's all about love. But he's been saying that from the start. Like, that's what has made this Doctor different, is he does talk with his emotions a bit more. But, sorry, I just, like, bit my tooth. And it's like...
You bit your tooth?
Like, yeah, my teeth, like, clanged together. And it's, like, sent shivers through my face.
It's like you're just getting too into the potty.
I am.
That isn't even funny.
Yeah, so they're pitching him as the Doctor that says, I love you, and things like that. But that's something that he's sort of been saying since he was this Doctor at the start. It's not really an arc. So, like, the two things that it felt like they were trying to push was he says he loves you and he's going to go back and see his family. None of that really is happening.
Was Susan?
Where was Susan?
What was the whole point of that? It's the reshoots. Do you want to say the thing you told me about the...
Okay, so I read, and once again, this is just a little thing I saw on Twitter, but I know that there was like an original leaked ending out there on Twitter that everyone has talked about, and so take this with a grain of salt.
Which is what that photo was from, which has been going around.
Okay, so Disney Plus in like Germany or something, when it said like next episode, before the next episode was released, it had a photo of the Doctor and Belinda at a party dancing at a May Day event. So an actual photo that was taken, and that does back up what this leak was.
Yeah.
So the leak had essentially said that the original ending for this story was everyone would just be partying at like a May Day celebration. The Doctor, Belinda, and Ruby, they'd be dancing. The Vlinks was going to be the DJ.
Tunes. Yeah,
he's going to be what? I get that. I'd get around the Vlinks doing that.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, and then side note, when the Vlinks rocked up in the episode out of a box, I did cackle. I did cackle.
Hello, I'm the Vlinks.
But yeah, so everyone's partying, having a good time at May Day celebration, and it pulls out to a shot of Susan watching on, and then that's the end, and it goes into season 3. Like that kind of slaps as an ending for me.
Sounded lovely, generally.
Yeah, even though it does feel like we would have been drawing out the Susan plotline, it at least feels like it's still present and being referenced.
Is Billie Piper going to be doing the...
I guess Billie Piper's going to have a reunion with Susan.
Is going to be the first Doctor to meet Susan. Give me a break.
Insane.
I saw on Instagram... It was like Shooty talking about regeneration, and the first thing he says was, "It was always planned." And it's like, get the fuck out of here! How dumb do you think we are?
Yeah, I don't think that was the.
It's so tacked on, and like part of ways that was a not planned regeneration episode. It wasn't planned, and you can't tell. It's so good.
Well, I think the difference is they filmed the episode knowing that it was the regen episode. It wasn't the original plan when it was first being scripted.
It wasn't actually shot and then attacked on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Regeneration scene.
Yeah.
And I guess a goodbye to Belinda and the doctor's baby.
Yeah. Okay, so the doctor's like, no, I can't do this alone. Walks off to have a little chat with Belinda. And Poppy and Belinda's mum's there and get some explanation. And then we get like the thing that fucks me off about this era. And it's the same thing as like the Ruby. She was all along she was pointing to the sign. She's a nobody, even though she's been snowing and everything.
Right. I was saying it the whole time.
Yeah. Where she's been saying like, the whole time we've been together, I've been saying, I need to get home to my daughter.
Yeah.
I think because this is a new reality, the old Belinda wasn't saying that, which is why we never saw
her doing it in the episodes.
But it does feel a bit weird, like why are you then showing us these alternate versions of when she's saying that? Like it really confuses me how that all works in this universe now. It's so messy. Whereas like, wouldn't it be interesting if the doctor in like Robot Revolution, so Belinda's like, I need to get home, and the doctor's like, but why do you need to get home? And Belinda's like, I don't quite remember.
Yeah.
And then that would really make sense at the end. Then it'd be like, oh, she had a kid all along and it was Poppy.
Well, again, it's like, was any of that planned though?
I don't know.
It just seems like...
Well, they went and added those shots from various episodes that we've seen.
So they must have been filming that alongside with the episodes, or do you think they reshot
They were all
that?
TARDIS scenes, so I think they just throw the costume on.
Good point. No, yeah, good point. So most probably was just a reshoot.
Yeah.
And
Also,
yeah.
I was going to say, I also don't understand the doctor looking out for them as babies. He was there for Belinda as a baby.
I was
and
walking
through
across
her
the road
life.
and you saved me that time. Yeah, when you were 14. It's like, what the fuck
What?
is going on?
And then Kate says like, yeah, I feel like we're all your children.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's like a shitty line, but doesn't really mean anything. But yeah, that was like a weird thing with the babies. I don't know what's going on there.
She mentions the father? Is that the guy from the Revolution? Or is it just some other guy that we don't know?
I don't think it was.
Okay, I was going to say that would have been like really
bit random.
lame. Okay.
Yeah. Al.
So the doctor knows that technically that is like a spawn from him and his conscious, as in Poppy. But now...
No, but because this
You'll
reality is now nothing to do with the doctor.
Okay, so it's just... I guess the concept and the idea was there though, originally.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like even like Jodie's regenerations is beautiful, and Capaldi's is heartbreaking, and Matt's is heartbreaking, and David's is, and so's X. This is just such a weightless, pointless, tacked on, not well thought out regeneration that will forever go down in history as nothing less than just a complete and utter failure.
Yeah.
Like, generally.
Well, because at least when we went backwards to the 14th Doctor, with the David coming back, at least that was like, okay, we're heading to the 60th. Like, it feels like we knew what we were getting. It was going to be like a one...
And we knew Shooty was coming after
Exactly,
as
yeah.
well. So,
whereas this now feels like, what are we doing? Like, we're grasping at straws to generate content, Like,
yeah. We don't know what is going on.
Not at all.
And it just... And when, I was just watching the regen, and when Billy popped up, I had heard rumors and rustlings about it, but I thought it was like, how like memes can start as like there's a leak, and I thought it was just a meme. I thought people were just running with a meme. It's so dumb and ridiculous. I actually hate it.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
I think it is just so dumb, and it's just so desperate, and this was not the plan. There are multiple interviews of Shooty and Russell being like, we're going to stay on forever. Shooty never got a Dalek story, never got a Cyberman story. It is just honestly a colossal failure and embarrassing.
It's a hot mess.
It's completely embarrassing.
Hot mess.
I don't, and you know what? The worst thing of all is that I just don't care. Like, I know this is lame and cringe to say and a bit embarrassing, but like, Doctor Who's like a family member to me. It's been in my life for 20 years. Like, I love and care about it like it's an actual person. I know that sounds a bit weird, but like, it's like my child's grown up, and it's like, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I've not felt connected to a Doctor in over 6 years. I don't like the stories. It's just shit. I would have much preferred it had just panned away like they would have done in Power of the Doctor. and just gone on hiatus because what is this shit? What is it?
It is crazy.
I don't know.
As much as like, and I don't think we should forget, we had some great episodes in season 2. Like, there
Absolutely.
was a bang and run of like 4 episodes
Absolutely.
in there. But then it's like the moment we try and do these big storyline, the content generation pieces that Russell, I'm using that word because that's what Russell says
Literally out of the horse's mouth. Yeah.
The moment we try and do that stuff, it makes no sense because it's purely there just to get people talking. Now everyone's going to be like, oh my God, Billie Piper's back.
Yeah, I'll make the news, you know?
But really, like, it's not the same effect as bringing David Tennant back because we just did that 2 years ago. And I think the general audience perspective from people that I've spoken to is like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, that's ridiculous, let's go see what happens next. It's
ridiculous.
People have said people are saying to me, they haven't even watched the episode, they just watched that scene.
Like, that's so dumb.
And they've just like, what is this show doing? Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And for me, like, even if he'd regenerated into Matt Smith,
that would have been...
Well, it would.
It's so lame though, but I'm like, oh shit.
It would have been.
Even I would be like, ooh.
It would have been desperate again, but at least it would have been like, oh, cool. Like Matt Smith, he's the Doctor again.
Billie Piper.
Different. If Rose walked in at the end of the episode and said, Doctor, I want to travel with you again. Desperate, but I'd feel a bit better about it.
Yeah.
But now it's because it's not Rose. It's just the same actor. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have that.
Weird.
It's not like seeing my old friend. Like it doesn't give me that feeling.
It's the Doctor.
It's a completely different thing.
And it makes no sense because it's like, you know, they did the whole reason why David Tennant came back was because, you know, he was wearing himself thin. So what's the fucking reason for Billie Piper being in it then?
Because the Doctor's feeling desperate.
An old friendly face, like...
Because he loves now.
And look, I'm going to say this sparingly, and I'm not trying to be a dick, okay?
Here we go.
I know I can
I'm not trying to be a dick, but...
I know I can be a bit heartless sometimes. Like, I get that, and a bit harsh. But I will say this. It's like, I don't fully blame Jodie for, like, leaving because it was a shit show.
I agree.
Okay. But with a B, I'm like, what was the point, though? It's like, was this just a stepping stone in your career just to, like, do this and then move on? It's like, could you not have done, like, you know, it's like in Twice Upon a Time, Peter's Doctor knows he's regenerating, like he's dying. I would have loved, even just for like a Christmas special, just to have one more episode and just have that. Yeah. Like this, it's like, what was the point though, man? Like, I get it. You can say in interviews it was always planned, but it's not. And it's like, I'm sure you do care, but it's like, I do feel a bit, as a fan, just a bit betrayed because it's like, you're the Doctor and I wanted you to do so well. And I understand it did not go the way you wanted to. And I don't know the behind the scenes stuff and I never will. But it's like, come on, man. Like, what was the point? Was it just for you to, like, go off to Hollywood and get a big stepping stone towards your future?
Which it is. I mean, it is a career thing for him. Like
it is, but it's like, I just wanted... It seemed like a bit of an easy way out and was just like, this is going down and I do not want to be a part of it and I'm out.
I do agree. I really agree.
That sucks. Like, I think you should just, out of courtesy, probably have just done... Even if it was, like... 3 more specials, or even if it was just 1 more Christmas special, just out of like courtesy to this legacy of a show. Yeah. Just to do it.
And it is like 100% selfish of us for us to look at it in that way, but I do sort of agree. Like, I think it's messy and it sucks that it's come to this, and there's obviously larger things in play.
That we'll probably never know.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree. There was part of me when it happened. No, there was part of me, it was when I watched his goodbye interview on the YouTube channel where I sort of went like, I just don't believe him. Yeah. And I got a little frustrated because I was like, obviously it's a big corporate entity and he wasn't going to turn around and say, I really didn't like the way that this was managed, yada, yada, yada. He's never going to say that. Maybe in like 10 years time. But I do feel like, but I mean, we could easily say that about Chris, you know?
I know.
The more frustrating thing is that Chris's was allowed to have an episode that felt like a regen story versus this being like a really tacked on.
But the problem is, I remember watching that interview. It was like they went to they announced Jodie being the Doctor and they went to like the red carpet. It was like a big event in the UK and he was there with Russell. And I remember them, it was just so exciting. And they said, how long do you think you'll stay? And he was like, I'm going to be there for a very, very long time. Yeah. And it just, the future felt so bright. Yeah. And with Russell being at the helm, and we hadn't seen any episodes yet, it did feel bright. And now it's like, I just kind of feel like, you know, a little bit disappointed in him because I'm like, did you really care, or was it just like a really great thing to add to your resume? Because
I wouldn't look at it like that.
this feels like, hey, I said I was going to be for a second getting a little bit negative.
Yeah, sure.
But it's like, I think something obviously did happen. I just think I would have really appreciated, but this is where it gets complicated and tricky because there are no episodes left through Disney, or we don't know with like the BBC and stuff. I really just would have loved there to be, he knows he's dying, and just having one episode, even just one, just to say goodbye and have it actually be done properly, not through reshoots and stuff. I know I'm being negative. I probably will get shit for that, but that's just kind of how I feel.
Yeah, I feel like what would have made it work for me a bit more was if the regen was a bit more integrated into part of this episode. So like if he, I liked going into it not knowing, but I think the way he went out story-wise just felt so forced. Like I don't know, I never went like, oh fuck. Like imagine something big happens and then at the end of it the doctor's like, I had to sacrifice myself to do that. Yeah. And it's like some grand story gesture. It just doesn't feel like that. Even though he's saving a child's life and it's beautiful, that sort of thing. But I don't know. I think it's just the way it planned out, especially that last 20 minutes where it was so messy, people walking and backwards and forwards. And I was like, I don't know what we're getting out of this right now. Yeah.
It wasn't emotional, like story-wise. I just kept saying to myself, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe this is actually happening.
Yeah. It was just like plot.
I kept wishing for like there to be a moment. What wish world?
Was that a pun?
No. I kept just wishing for there to be a moment where it was like, psych, like there's a series 3 and he's going to be there, and it's like,
yeah.
It's kind of fucked.
I thought he was about to step out on my screen again at one point. Remember when the whole screen shatters?
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember.
I thought he was about to like walk out of the screen.
Hello, I'm shooting out where I've been Doctor Who. It's been a great time.
Bow tie to the floor.
Yeah, goodbye. Here's Billie Piper. I know, surprise, right? Didn't see that one coming, did you?
There's 2 more things I want to talk about from within the episode.
Fire away, Aiden Green.
So one, Belinda's last scene, I feel like sort of alludes to the fact that Belinda will be back again. Belinda and Ruby might come back with the new doc because he's like, you might see me again, but different face. I hope that Belinda and Ruby come back because I have enjoyed both of their characters and want to see more because I don't think we got enough of them. Ruby didn't really get a farewell to the doc.
No.
Which just is just so weird.
Very weird.
So weird. But Belinda got a nice goodbye, which was a cute little scene. I did enjoy that little scene in the garden before he ran away. Also, production design of Belinda's house and like her fit was just great. I thought that aesthetically looked really nice.
They played the 12th Doctor regeneration.
Throughout the episode,
theme.
Multiple times.
Sack Russell T Davies.
Sack.
Yeah, like, and there was one like sad scene earlier in the episode where they played it, and I was like, "Why are we playing this?"
I was like, "Where have I heard this?"
It's the stars theme. It's like, I wish there were stars.
Yeah,
dun,
yeah,
dun,
yeah.
dun, dun, dun,
Yeah, very
dun,
beautiful piece,
dun,
but it's like,
dun,
what's going on?
dun,
So
dun,
Murray's gone.
Dun, 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 dun. Well,
Let's see, there's
Murray
no
said he'd
stars.
leave with Shooty, like way years ago.
Yeah.
So Murray may be gone. Who knows?
Murray Gold is composing back on your screens for the Billie Piper Doctor.
I don't think it's a bad thing if Murray goes because I felt like his score was very, very overpowering in this episode. And again, like, I don't mind bringing back little motifs if it makes sense, but bringing back like the 12 Doctors regeneration one just feels a bit like, why are we like, that's not the one to bring back. Bring back another, like, if you don't have time to compose, bring back another like sad thing that doesn't have the context of that. Like even something like Doomsday, like it's not like, sure, it's the goodbye. It'd be good foreshadowing. Good foreshadowing.
It makes sense. Yeah.
But like bringing that back, at least it's just sort of like a sad motif for a really sad episode. Like when it came back in Twice Upon a Time, it didn't feel too out of touch, really. I didn't feel like it felt like a goodbye to Murray.
Yeah.
But like a regeneration piece. I know we went on to have another episode after that, but it is sort of like the regeneration piece, or the lead up to it at least. It's when he dies.
Yeah,
So-
and then when he goes in the TARDIS, it plays like a shepherd's boy like reprise.
Yeah.
But it's a part of the regeneration lead up.
Yeah, 'cause it's
But-
from the Doctor Falls, and then he has Twice Upon a Time after that.
Yes, and it just felt odd. Like
It
just
did.
felt like an odd decision. It's like we're not gonna. Shooty can't have the regeneration theme. We'll just use Peter Capaldi's.
Yeah. So I wanted to say Belinda's last scene was really great. I really liked that, and the production design was really nice in that scene. Her house with the costume, I thought just looked really beautiful. It had like a 70s vibe. I was really there for it, or 80s. I don't know my time periods. And then the other thing I wanted to say is we do have a big ongoing thread still into season 3. The boss. The boss is still around. The boss was not Sutek.
No.
The boss was not Omega or the Rani.
No.
The boss is still to come.
The boss says hi.
Who could it be? No one knows.
Do you want to know my honest answer?
That Russell still doesn't know yet.
Don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I don't care.
I don't give a fuck.
You've ruined, not you personally. They've just ruined. I don't care anymore.
For the love of God, hope it is a new villain. Like, I feel like whenever they hype up these villains, it has to be a returning one. But I feel like we've done that for the last 2 seasons.
And it has not worked.
It's not worked, but also I'm tired of that. I'm tired of it. Like, bring us a new villain. You can hype him up. Who's the boss? And it's a new villain. Maybe they can set him up in the premiere of season 3 and then he becomes the villain in the finale or something like that. But yeah, the boss.
When you saw the Omega tomb opening and you saw the claw handcart, did you think it was Sutek at the start?
That was part of me that thought it might be
Is
Sutek.
that fucking Sutek?
But then when you got a close up and you can see it was more like gross and stuff, I genuinely out loud said, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
I knew there would be a new design, but I was like, Russell loves these big ass CGI.
I didn't think they'd do it again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the
looks
same
like
thing as
dog
Sutek.
shit.
Big CGI dog, big CGI skeleton.
It looks just so crap.
Yeah.
What a shit show, honestly.
What?
It's so bad. Like, it's laughably bad.
Oh, the shed. The shed was our memory.
Oh, that's yeah, thanks, Rose Noble, for adding literally nothing.
Yeah, a couple lines in there. That was nice.
Mel added nothing. Kate was Colonel Ibram was just like there.
Yeah, he said fire at one point. It was pretty good. What did you think about the unit shuffle shooty? That was okay. It was fun.
Well, when it was like being under attack.
Yeah.
I've seen it done better in Stolen Earth, Jenny's End.
Oh, for sure. But I thought it was fine.
No.
It was fun.
No.
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 I did think when Shirley starts firing the missiles, I was like, why is she in charge of the missiles? She's a scientific advisor.
What did you think of just like just
The Back to the Future?
Like, pew!
The zoomies. Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I was like, oh, Doctor Who is just kind of silly fun. I was still enjoying the episode at that point.
I was
like,
still in that blissful 20 minutes of
Yeah.
sort of like
Yeah.
enjoying it,
Yes.
rolling my eyes from time to time, but
Yes.
going like, ha ha ha, it's a fun finale. Who cares?
I was exactly the same. Like that didn't bother me. I was like,
Also, all of units microchipped.
oh, yes.
I did think like that's a bit political, isn't it?
I am anti microchip.
Yeah. I didn't really like that. I thought that was a bit weird.
Very strange.
Yeah.
And I love how they give that baby to Cherry and Carla after Carla has shown us true colors 3 times in the past about just abandoning Ruby every shot she gets.
I did think it was cute though.
It was cute.
It makes sense.
Iron's dad's outside.
Hello.
He's probably wondering why we're wearing suits.
Yeah, well, who died?
Doctor Who died.
Doctor Who died.
Yeah, that's literally what my parents said. They're like, what's going on? I'm like, #rip Doctor Who.
And then you just walked out.
I can't tell my parents that Billie Piper's the new Doctor.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
too
scared.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
I have to just I'm just so positive about this show. I try to be the guy in the corner who's like, no, it's good. Like it can be really good. Like this series has had some really good episodes. And now I'm like, oh, Billie Piper's the Doctor. What happened to the old one? Oh, he left.
Yeah, he left. Whoopsie.
So 2 series. So this is now for New Who the second shortest.
Nice to
Doctor.
break the 3-season cycle.
Just not in the way we thought.
No, it would be nice if it was like a bit more of a intentional thing. Okay, here's where as well I've gotten a bit murky, right? Because I went into this episode because I think I said to you off camera last week, I think I said, if the finale is shit, we go for Russell's head. Which in my head, because I always think about supporting Doctor Who, I use this analogy a lot.
Russell T. Davies.
Exactly. I use this analogy a lot. Supporting Doctor Who, it's like supporting a sports team where like you have different managers come in and you sort of want to give them a couple seasons. Like the first season might not be perfect, but season 2 can hopefully build off that. And maybe season 3 is where you can start to get the reward. Like that's how I felt the whole way through Chibnall's era. And so I sort of last week had said to you, if this is shit, we're 2 seasons in, feels like we're not really taking any big step forwards, we go for Russell's head. But then I sort of thought about what I'd said to you for like that week after that and was like, no, but this is still kind of just season 1 because this is all like, this was being filmed before season 1 had even aired.
So we could have like a renaissance of Russell T Davies.
We could, but because you know how like series 12 kind of feels like a bit of a response to series 11 in a way,
Sure.
And then Flux even more so. But here's my caveat to that: is that I feel like we have had a. If Russell had learnt from what we've all said, like if he'd taken on fan feedback, and I feel like you don't want to completely succumb to fan feedback. Of course not. You want to make they're the people that know how to make TV more than we are, right? But general consensus, you obviously still want to maybe listen and hear what's going on a little bit.
You're
and
saying he wouldn't have done the Billie Piper thing?
the Billie Piper thing, a last minute add-on, feels like a complete contradiction to anything that the fan base has sort of responded. It feels like a contradiction to the way the fan base have responded. If anything, it feels like a fuck you to the fan base. So I am here saying, is Russell the guy?
No, I think he should step down. I mean, if anything, he could do it now.
But now it's like you brought Billy back. Like, you don't want another showrunner to come in and have to solve this Billy problem.
Well, maybe do a free special with Billy and then move on to the new showrunner.
And maybe it'll be poetic because it's like you end
Sure.
with Billy.
Sure.
Maybe, yeah.
I think that would be the best. I think generally you have to have a conversation of like, this just is not working.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's exhausting.
The idea of regeneration now is just a joke.
Yeah.
It generally is just a joke.
No stakes, because they'll just come back.
It's ridiculous.
And if your favorite companion doesn't come back as a companion, they'll come back as the Doctor.
As the Doctor. And it's generally laughably ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I hate it. I think it generally is dog shit.
Yeah. I would have loved if they were like, Billie Piper will return as a companion in season 3. Like
With Matt Smith. That would have been awesome.
Like, it would have felt a bit desperate, but it would have at least made sense in the story.
Like problems of like desperation and regeneration is a joke, but it's like at least that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like that's like fan wanky stuff that works versus this that feels like fan fiction. Like
it
this
does
whole
feel
era,
like fan fiction.
Every time they do a big swing like this, it feels like fan fiction. Like it's someone's gone, oh, but what if Billie Piper was the Doctor? It's the same thing of what if Matt Smith was the Master? It's that stuff.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. And who knows when it'll be back?
We actually don't know. Next time we'll sit here to review a new episode of Doctor Who.
I hope we find out soon because I just want to know if it's gonna. I don't know.
I think we will.
I don't know, and I don't really know if I care.
Who knows? Maybe we'll talk about this. We will do a mail time pod. I'm not sure when we're going to film it, but we will have an extra bonus episode this week sometime.
We should do, instead of the new episode, we should do War Between Land and the Sea.
Yeah, cool. That sounds good. Yeah. So we won't talk about War Between Land and Sea here.
Because there was a trailer and stuff. If anyone cares.
But we will dissect that later in the week. Yeah. I think we leave it there for today. Oh, no. I've got to do the whiteboard.
Funeral for a Friend, and we have to do our scores.
And our scores. Whiteboard and the scores. Okay, so the whiteboard. This has been a really fun part of the season. Every second one does really well on TikTok. So thank you all for watching. It's been like a really...
Every second one?
Yeah, because I'll do one and it'll get like 800 views. And then I'll do another and it gets like 18,000 views.
Oh my God.
So thank you for everyone getting involved on TikTok. It's been a lot of fun this year doing that. And hopefully we can take it on forward for the next run. But yeah, so will it go? Will I put this episode into best of the best, great not goat, fun and flirty, so good until you're not, kind of good, kind of shit, or ass? Now, this is hard because for a lot of it, even when the regen stuff was coming and Shooty was saying goodbye, I started to think in my head, as I always do as an episode starts to wrap up, you start to think, okay, where do I sit with this one? And I was thinking maybe kind of good, kind of shit. Because like I said, had fun early on.
20 minutes, good time.
Really had fun early on, rolled my eyes a bit, and then we got this like convoluted ending. So kind of good, kind of shit sounds about right. And then Billie Piper rocked up onto my screen. And I just think the punch to the face.
And we love Billie, by the way.
We do.
Say. She's incredible.
She's done nothing wrong by saying yes to coming back.
No, she's incredible. Yeah, we should say that, yeah.
But the punch to the face that it was to be like, Billie Piper's back. The scream, the mental breakdown that I had.
I can't wait to watch that later. I didn't know you did a reaction, so.
This thing's going in ass.
Oh. Also, is it implied, because you see Joy there, is it implied that Joy from Joy to the World watches the Doctor regenerate in the star and he shouts,
we didn't even talk about that.
Joy to the World!
Ass.
So that's the second. That's the second final.
We'll get to that.
With ass.
But how fucking ridiculous that Joy is there.
Yeah.
His final lines are like Joy,
Joy to the world. Just a fantastic
and
character.
it's the music from Joy to the World as well when he's regenerating.
Yeah, I hated it. I thought that was just so dumb.
Anyways, yeah. So here's where we are with Russell now, and this I think sums up this era. Okay. We've got some really good stuff in Great Not Goat from this season, which I think is awesome and legendary. And no best of the best from this season, which is unfortunate. We've got a few like fun and flirty, so good until you're not, stuff that you'd expect. Probably one or two too many kind of good, kind of shit episodes than I'd like, I think. But then this is where it gets really troubling, is that we have 4 episodes in ass. 4, again, maybe it's like 1 episode too many in the ass than I'd like. It's a funny sentence.
Nice.
1 too many in the ass than I'd like. But the big problem is we've got the Star Beast, a premiere,
an opener,
Empire of Death, a finale, Robot Revolution, an opener, and the Reality War, a finale.
A finale, yeah.
Which just proves to me, like what I was saying, every time the show tries to do these big storyline things,
does not work.
It's not working right now. Like, I'm loving what Russell's doing with his episode of the weeks. They're great. Well, not great, but they're
great,
really solid.
Good, not great.
Good, not... Yeah, great. Yeah.
What's it called?
Great, not goat.
Yeah, great, not goat, yeah.
But whenever we're trying to do these big things, it's just content generation, which is not working for you and I. And I understand there's some people out there that it will work for, but for you and I, it's just...
you just hope it generates content.
God damn. Okay, Connor, so to wrap things up, let's bring back the sad music. What would you like to rate this episode out of 10? Any last words?
4.
That's
last words is that you literally took my trust and threw it into the ground, and I feel like a fool, and you've hurt me maybe beyond repair.
Fuck.
It's not like I'm talking to you every time I do that.
Yeah, that's how he talks to me off camera. I too am going to give this one a 4. So we do get a very reluctant fist bump. We're here drinking on a Sunday morning at 10 a.m. because of this show. And at the end of the day, it's just a TV show. So we're not going to do a voice break. I'm tearing up.
Are you crying?
At the end of the day, it's just a TV show. So we shouldn't take it too seriously. But
too late.
It's a mess. Their life, the life of Doctor Who, the final years of its life, was a hot mess.
Is it possible it's going to get cancelled?
No, I think it'll be back.
Okay.
The BBC said it'll be back, so I'll trust them. They never lie.
Did they say that though officially?
I think they sort of did. There was some kind of article.
Sort of did.
There was
okay, that's trustworthy.
So we'll be back. We need to take our time to grieve and to mourn, but later in the week we'll be back. And I don't think I even have the emotional energy to sing us out, Connor.
No, I don't care.
I think we just let Wiz Khalifa
Wiz.
take us out for this one, okay?
Thanks, Wiz.
Not talk about family because family is all that we got. My Susan is gone and I'll never find her. That plot has not
Saying
been
goodbye to
fixed.
Shooty Gut.
Well, we won't see you again, cause you're the new Christopher Eccleston and we'll never be back.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, let's get on my
lyrical genius. Benny Blanco over here.